Alright, so we're pretty much done for the moment, at least on this right side. But if we look at the left side, it's blank and we don't have anything. So we have to go ahead and create the details on that side. One problem, however, we go over to our, let me go ahead and maximize this view over here of the, basically the opposite side, the left side. The left side is a little bit different. Now it's a little bit hard to see the image at the moment, simply because we're looking right now at the detail from the right side because this is in wireframe mode, and that's going to make it nearly impossible to work on the left side. So what I'm going to do is a little trick here to help us out. If I go to wireframe mode here, and I use F3 to do that very quickly, I'm going to go ahead and go to edge mode, and I'm going to select all the edges that run down the middle of this guy. It's basically all of these. And I missed one there, and the reason I missed that is because if I go over here, the ignore back facing option is on. I'm going to turn that off. Don't need it at the moment. So here's all the edges that run down the middle of this object. What I'm going to do is I'll go to connect, go to the connect options, make sure that all the options look like this. So 0, 0 for the pinch and slide, and segment set to 1. I'm going to hit OK. So that literally cuts the object down the middle. And what I want to do is basically I'll go up to a top view here, go to polygon mode, and I want to grab the left half over here of this object. I'm going to hit P to go back to perspective mode. And if I look at this, I have the entire left side of the object selected. Okay. What I'm going to do is go up to geometry up here in the graphite modeling tools, and I'm going to hit detach. I'm going to tell this thing to detach it, and I'm going to call it left side. And that basically makes its own objects. If I come over here, you'll see it's a separate object, which is perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm going to take the front panel that I don't need, and let me rename this guy here. So I'll go to the quad menu, go to object properties. I'm going to call this guy right side just so I know what I'm dealing with here. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to take the front panel and the right side. I'm going to go to my quad menu and hit hide selection so that I'm only working with this side over here. And now if I go over to my left view, you can see it's nice and clean and I'm ready to work. Nice and comfortable. Very good. So again, let's look at this. This little panel right here looks exactly like the one that we already did on the right side. The only difference is this one's about half as tall. The other one is about this tall up to here. This one is about halfway. Alright, it's the same thing. Then you've got these little holes here. If you noticed when I was showing you my model, I went ahead and created that off camera. We talked about that in the last video. But this bottom part here is exactly the same. Because it's the same, I'm not going to be redundant and show you how to do that again and again and again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and challenge you to go ahead and create this panel on your own. Use the same exact techniques you saw in the previous video. Replay the previous video if you have to a couple of times until you really understand the technique. So use the same technique to create the panel and the same one to create the holes. But don't go ahead and create the holes for the top. I'm going to show you when I come back how to create those holes on the top a little bit faster, reusing the geometry that we already have, just to show you a new technique and another way of working. Okay, so just create this bottom panel right here with these little holes, and we'll meet up when we're finished doing that. So I'm going to pause the video, get that done, and I'll be right back. I suggest you do the same. Alright, so I went ahead and I created this bottom panel over here. What I want to do is create the little holes on the top right here, but I don't want to create them from scratch again because I've already done that before. And what I want to do is just recycle the geometry I already have to make things easier for me. So I'm going to go to my quad menu. I'm going to go to unhide my name. And I'm going to unhide the right side. That brings up this guy. And as you can see, on this guy I've already created these holes right here. So all I need to do is basically rip this object off, those holes, that little grill, and place it over here. But I need to make a few modifications first. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me take this guy here, and I'm going to hit Alt and Q to go to isolate selection mode. Okay, basically that's going to go ahead and isolate everything. It's going to bring up this little window here that tells me a warning. You're in isolated selection mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to maybe this view right here. You can see where the little holes are right there for the little vent. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go to polygon mode, select this big polygon that's right here, basically this one. I'm going to go to quick slice, make a slice right there on the bottom. I'm going to take this polygon right here, I'm going to go to quick slice, make a cut about right there, and a cut about right there. I'm going to need that. So basically I have this polygon right here in the middle where those little holes are going to go. So let me go back to this perspective view. I'm going to hit the exit isolation mode button over here so I can bring my stuff back. Okay, so let me go to this guy over here. Go to polygon mode, and let me go to my right side view over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these polygons that are right there. And if I come back over to this view, you can see the polygons that I have selected. Okay. And at this point, it's pretty simple. I'm going to come up here to the geometry tab. I'm going to hit detach. And I'm just going to go ahead and leave all these options alone at default. So leave these unchecked and hit OK. Or actually, before you hit OK, hit detach as clone so we make a copy of it and hit OK. If I go ahead and select that, I'm going to go ahead and select that new object that I've created, which is this guy right here. By selecting the clone option, it leaves the original alone, but gives us a duplicate over here that we can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this guy. You can see the pivot point is a little bit off. Let me rotate this guy by 180 degrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that pivot point of this guy to the corner. I'm going to come up here to the hierarchy panel, go to Effect Pivot Only. I'm going to turn on my snapping. Make sure your vertex snapping is still turned on. That's it. Once it's there, let's go back to this guy. We know we need to get rid of this polygon, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. I'm going to select that vertex in the corner and hit F12 to open up the Transform Type-In tool. I'm going to activate the Move tool. And what I want to steal is the X coordinate. So I'll take the entire X coordinate, copy it. I'll take this guy over here, and I'll paste that X coordinate right there. Hit Enter. I'm going to close that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my side view, my left view actually, and I'm going to move that back until it matches up pretty good. So something like right there is pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the left side body over here. I'm going to go to my quad menu and click on Attach, and then I'm going to click on those little holes to attach it. And at this point, it's actually pretty simple. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that all the vertices line up. So I'm going to go to Vertex Mode, and I'm going to activate my Target Weld tool, and I'm going to target weld the corners right there so this thing fits where it's supposed to in that hole. So once I get all 4 of those vertices done, that's it. It's now officially a part of the object, and if I render that out, you can see what I have. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So it looks like we have both sides done. So we're done for the sides. Now it's time to start working on the back. We have a lot of work to do back there. We'll get started in the next video.